We're Byron and Jill, two hands-on people with big dreams. In 2024, we purchased 100 acres in southeast Queensland in an area called Mount Binga. We bought it on a total whim. Byron was nursing a damaged knee after a motocross accident and doing some heavy thinking. And Jill was dreaming of being closer to the mountains, the beach, her family, and riding some new mountain bike trails. We'd never heard of Mount Binga before, but the native trees, rolling hills and permanent dams seemed like the perfect place to build a new off-grid haven for us and our two boys. We're not new to building, but we are new to YouTube, so stay tuned as we get off-grid at Mount Binga. In this episode, we're going to forget about the shed for a while, because today we're about to unveil something big. We've been dropping a few hints here and there about this one. Our Mount Binga build is about to get a whole lot bigger. The seed of this project was planted quite organically, one morning after a bike ride over a coffee with a mate. Our mate mentioned that he had something we might be interested in, but there was a catch. It would be a serious undertaking that many before us had turned down, and it was something we'd need to see with our own eyes to fully appreciate. Getting there wasn't exactly smooth sailing. Cyclone Alfred threw a bit of a spanner in the works, causing a false start to our first expedition south. Then for our second journey attempt, I first had to head to the bright lights of Brisbane for work, leaving Byron and the boys alone for their drive down. But we all converged on a perfectly blustery Queensland day, ready to lay our eyes on what could potentially be our next big project. And here it is, a mountain of opportunity that was ours if we wanted it. We just need to organise someone to pick it up and move it to Mount Binga. Now this isn't just any old house. This is a Queenslander, and specifically an interwar Queenslander, dating back around 100 years. For those not familiar, the Queenslander is an iconic architectural style perfectly adapted to our usually sunny climate. Think timber construction, often elevated on stumps to promote airflow underneath, to keep it cool in the heat, and from my young adult sharehouse experience, bitterly cold in the winter. They're also useful in flood-prone areas when they're not built in underneath. Interwar Queenslanders were built roughly between the two world wars, and often have their own distinct character. This one's got a bit of a simpler design compared to earlier, more ornate styles, but it still has that classic Queenslander DNA. These homes were built for practicality, and many have stood the test of time, full of stories within their locally sourced timber frames. And this one, despite its age and its missing of a few walls here and there, is a prime example of that enduring style. Most of its life it sat on a corner block in Brisbane, but 8 years ago it was moved up to our friend's block by its previous owners. And it was actually previously built in to create some extra rooms. But somewhere along the way, someone ripped out those walls and ceilings again and brought the verandas back, giving us a few different options for its next chapter. We're heading into the main bedroom now. This opening would have originally had a set of French doors, perhaps with some LED light windows. There's more windows above the bed zone and ample space for a wardrobe and cupboards. Now into the joined living, main entrance and dining areas. All of these rooms have 11-foot or 3.3 metre ceilings, hardwood timber floors and vertical join or VJ walls. In these rooms there's some wood panelling over the VJ walls and two glorious bay windows. There would have also been LED light windows covering this opening, but they are long gone. Now we're in the old kitchen. That opening there, or the missing wall, used to open out into an old extension which is long gone. And here's the old bathroom and a separate toilet, still also under these lofty 11-foot ceilings. This area was once a third bedroom, and now the second bedroom, again with a missing wall, as it used to extend onto the built-in veranda. And some old classic KFC stickers in the wardrobe. Around this stage of our visit, we were starting to fall in love with the house and started discussing ideas of how we would change some things around to bring some life back to it and to suit our needs. Byron climbed up into the ceiling cavity to see the condition of the roof and to see which walls were load-bearing and which ones could be ripped out. Back to the main bedroom again. Steve, a painter by trade, is starting to talk about paint colours, and I'm starting to think about how I might need to learn lead lighting, or at the very least how I could sew up some curtains. And of course Byron is thinking about the carpentry.
That will get filled in. Filled in, yeah, that need to be there. Then the door to here, and then I'll pull that door out. Yeah. And that living area would be here, so then you don't have a hallway. And then I was thinking the kitchen can be here.
How we could open up the whole living area to be even more open plan. Did we mention it was absolutely bucketing down the whole time we were there? Well, there weren't any leaks other than the hole in the roof where the fireplace used to be. These bay windows are a real treasure. They'd be such a lovely spot to sit and have a coffee in the mornings, watching the mist crawl up the mountain or gazing at the hoop pines on our block. Yes, it's sure going to take a lot of work, but geez, we're already imagining how it could all come together. Time for another few laps around the house, looking at some of the features in more detail. The mesh bottom of this pantry in the old kitchen. The funky Art Deco style wardrobe handles. The linen cupboard in the hallway. This bathroom that's a blank canvas for us to make our own. And this perfectly intact door-mounted mirror. The smile says it all. We're in love. And I think in time the boys will love it too. I mentioned earlier that the house was only moved here 8 years ago. Well, after this visit, I contacted the company that originally moved it here, and through the magic of the internet, tracked down some photos of this very house when it was in its prime. The beloved home of generations of the same family for 90 years. If only these walls could talk. So what do you think? Do you think we can handle it? What would you do? We'd love for you to keep watching along like George is here. In the next episode, it's back to the shed. For good, we're moving there. Stay tuned.